A very good afternoon. It's our pleasure to extend a cheerful greeting to you all. I, Arpita Biswas, student of School of Education, your today's moderator, and my co-moderator, Sumedha Basu Biswas, student of School of Education, offering a warm comfort to all present here. We are truly delighted to welcome you all here to celebrate International Women's Day with School of Education, Adamas University. We are looking forward to an exclusive interactive session and a panel discussion, hoping for a merry and enjoyable time together this afternoon. Before commencement of today's program, let's have a briefing.
Adamas University is one of the most prominent campuses in East India, ranking Kolkata, West Bengal. Adamas University has 10 distinctive schools of learning along with the School of Professional Studies to prepare tough contenders for their competitive world, enhancing their skills. It is recognized by the University Grant Commission, offering several undergraduates, postgraduates, and doctoral degree courses in various fields of study. Among these 10 distinguished departments, the School of Education is an integral part of Adamas University, carrying extra prestige than any other B.Ed colleges in West Bengal. Our school is pledged to address the social determinants of education, support diverse learners, and at the same time is a stern believer of equity and social justice. Through various national and international collaborative initiatives and groundbreaking research, School of Education is trying to create a world for the new generation of women learners where they can furnish themselves for thriving into the world of a passionate and dynamic future. We are grateful to Honorable Professor Samit Roy, Chancellor, and Dr. Dipendra Kumar Jha, Vice Chancellor of Adamas University, and especially thanking our Director of School of Education, respected Dr. Sharon Mukherjee, and our Head of the Department, Dr. Prarthita Biswas, for all their upkeep for their female students.
Moving forward, to be quoted, a healthy mental state will help us leverage our everyday path to achieve the success we seek and live a purposeful life. Mental illness is something extremely common, mainly to be observed in 1 in 5 women. We are so much engrossed and overloaded with work that we essentially get connected to this problem. To know its specifics in panel discussion, we have with us today as our esteemed panelists, Ms. Swagata Majumdar, Ms. Alina Sabu, Ms. Surabhi Sarkar, and Mrs. Vaishali Dasgupta Nandi. This afternoon, we will also come to know the success stories of eminent personalities, Ms. Rania Lampo and Princess Dr. Desiree Richardson across the globe. Along with that, our Honorable Director, Ma'am, Dr. Sharon Mukherjee. At the inauguration of International Women's Day celebration, our Honorable Director, Ma'am, has something valuable to convey to us. But before, let's know something briefly about her. Dr. Sharon Mukherjee, the Director of the School of Education, Adamas University, is a passionate academician, global thought leader, and internationally acclaimed inspirational speaker with more than 23 years of expertise in education space. She has been awarded as India's top 50 women leaders in the education industry, top 20 revolutionary leaders, and among 99 women achievers of India for the year 2020. She has been the recipient of numerous awards and accolades, including the National Quality Excellence Award, Gem of India, World, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, a World National Education Leadership Award in the category of Commitment to Excellence in Education. Now, I'm requesting the SOE technical team to present her short pre-recorded video.
This is Dr. Sharon Mukherjee, a passionate academician, a global thought leader, and an internationally acclaimed inspirational speaker from India. And today, on this platform of the Balanced Woman Health Summit, I'm really looking forward to speaking with all of you regarding a very, very important issue. And that is the importance of mental health, especially among women. Now, it has been more than 1.5 years now that the entire world has been embroiled in this unprecedented global pandemic, causing massive wreckage, disruption, and devastation at an alarmingly exponential rate. Along with the threat to our physical health and well-being, there has been a steep upsurge in the mental health issues, especially pertaining to the growing and increased rates of stress, anxiety, depressive symptoms, insomnia, denial, anger, fear, and insecurity. Added to the fear of contracting the virus are the significant changes that have majorly affected our daily lives as our movements are restricted in support of efforts to contain and slow down the spread of the virus. Faced with new realities of working from home, temporary unemployment, homeschooling of children, and lack of physical contact and connect with other family members, friends, relatives, and colleagues have indeed further aggravated the situation at an alarming proportion. Now, significant research has proved that women are actually at an increasing rate of being affected by mental health issues than men. A recent study has shown that 1 in 5 women compared to 1 in 8 men has a mental health problem. 1 in 5 women aged 16 to 25 have been reported to have indulged in self-harming activities. There had been a steady increase in the number of women experiencing mental health problems and issues and difficulties, with young women particularly at risk. Even suicide rates are also higher in women as compared to men. Now let us see what exactly affects the women's mental health. Firstly, we know that women are more likely to be primary caregivers to their children as well as to the older and the disabled relatives. This can be a major reason for their anxiety and depression. Secondly, women are more likely to live in poverty than men. Poverty, in fact, working mainly in the home and concerns about personal safety can all make women feel isolated. And we all know that social isolation is in fact heavily linked to mental health problems. Thirdly, physical and sexual abuse can have a long-term impact on women's mental health, especially if they have not received any considerable support. And lastly, women are exposed to more sexual violence than men, which means that more women are in fact affected by the post-traumatic stress disorder. Moreover, accompanied by this, women find it difficult to talk about their painful feelings and tend to internalize them, which can lead to problems such as depression and eating disorders. They may express their emotional pain through self-harm, whereas men are in fact more likely to act out their feelings through disruptive or antisocial behavior. It is crucial to note that 1 in 4 women experience depression compared to 1 in 10 men. Around 10 to 20% of women actually experience depression while they are pregnant or after giving birth. While most of us are aware of postnatal depression, many of us may not be even aware of the fact that women can experience antenatal depression as well. Additionally, women have a longer life expectancy than men, meaning that they are more likely to experience the mental health difficulties that can come with old age. Losses such as bereavement or loss of independence can also trigger depression and anxiety. Now, in these circumstances, it is extremely critical and crucial to take care of our mental health and emotional well-being as much as our physical health, because almost all recent studies and researchers have in fact proved that the basic and essential fact that almost all our physical ailments often stem from our minds. We have to understand that mental health is more than the presence or absence of a mental illness. It is in fact a crossroad between emotional, psychological, and physical well-being. First and most importantly and most crucial is the fact that we need to advocate against mental health stigma. As people with mental health conditions often experience severe human rights violations and discriminations, we should not be afraid to speak up and seek assistance whenever we feel unwell or mentally distressed. We also have to realize and admit, more importantly to ourselves, that it is sometimes completely okay to not be okay. And during such times, we must have the reliable support system to fall back on. Especially in the present context of this difficult and trying times, when we all are maybe in different boats, but sailing against the same storm. And I'm talking about the present context of the pandemic. We are definitely not meant to suffer in seclusion and isolation. We are all in it together as one big single family, united by the spirit of humanity. Though the pandemic has forced us to maintain physical distancing from each other, our physical distancing is not meant to dwindle into emotional distance from our loved ones. And being together and developing a strong bond of togetherness is definitely the key to ensure mental and emotional well-being during such trying and different times. Now let me conclude by giving a very quick and practical and workable tips to take care of our mental health, and that is women's mental health in particular. Talking about your feelings, in fact, can help you stay in good mental health and deal with times when you feel troubled. Talking about your feelings is definitely not a sign of one's weakness. It's part of taking charge of your well-being and doing what you can to stay healthy. Regular exercise can boost your self-esteem and can help you concentrate, sleep, and feel better. Exercise keeps the brain and other vital organs healthy and is also a significant benefit towards improving one's mental health. Your brain actually needs a mix of nutrients in order to stay healthy and function well, just like the other organs in your body. Always remember that a diet that is good for your physical health is in fact also good for your mental health. Remember that none of us are superhuman beings. So we all sometimes get tired or overwhelmed by how we feel or when things actually do not go as per our plans. If things are getting too much for you and you feel that you cannot cope anymore, ask for help. Your family or friends may be able to offer practical help or a listening ear. A change of scene or a change of pace is actually good for your mental health. It could be a 5 minutes pause, a very, very short pause, from cleaning your kitchen or a half an hour lunch break at work or even a weekend exploring something completely different and new. A few minutes can be enough to de-stress you. Give yourself some me time. That's important. Do something you are good at. Enjoying yourself can help beat stress. Doing an activity you enjoy probably means you are good at it. And achieving something boosts your self-esteem. And also remember that we all are different and unique. It's much healthier to accept that who you are and that in fact that you are a unique being than to wish that you were more like someone else. Feeling good about yourself in fact boosts your confidence to learn new skills, visit new places, and make new friends. Good self-esteem can help you cope when life takes a difficult turn. And lastly, and most importantly, pray a lot. And have an unflinching faith in the benevolence and magnificence of the Almighty Lord. Believe in His magnificence, generosity, grace, and power, and know that by all means, this too shall pass. God bless you all.
Wow, that was enriching and enlightening for all of us. Moving on next, as quoted by Dr. Ambedkar, I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress which women have achieved. Now I would like to invite our first panelist, Ms. Swagata Majumdar. She is an international IBDAS award-winning radio professional for her excellence in radio. She has been an international voice-over artist for the past 18 years, a celebrity voice coach, an MC, and a popular former radio jockey who has worked in Kolkata and Dubai radio stations. A double master's in communication, one from Commits Bangalore and the other from University of Leeds, UK. Ms. Swagata is also a writer and a blogger. She started her career as a journalist but soon moved to radio after her international award for a radio documentary. She is a lecturer of media and communications at the Commits College, Bangalore. Ms. Swagata also owns Boyam, a platform for promoting interdisciplinary performing art forms and curates shows to promote fresh talents. Boam has already received a lot of accolades from the public and the press for its home and cafe concerts done in a unique style. Ms. Swagata is also famously known to be Sunny Leone's voice acting coach for Sunny's first Hindi podcast, Confessions with Sunny Leone for Ghana.com. Over to you, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay. Thank you for introducing me so beautifully. Thank you so much. I'll begin with wholeheartedly thanking respected Chancellor Professor Shomit Rai, sir, Vice Chancellor Dr. Deependra Jha, sir, Director of School of Education, Dr. Sharon Mukherjee, ma'am, Head of the Department, Dr. Bishash, ma'am, the esteemed panelist today, and Professor Poroma Kundu, ma'am, who has invited me here today. The students and all of you who are watching us right now, thank you so much. It is truly an honor to be addressing the panel with such esteemed panelists present today. And thank you, Department of Education, Adamas University, for inviting me today. Also, congratulations for choosing a topic so pertinent. A lot of it is said about women and success, but dialogues about, women's mental health is such a hush-hush, a taboo. With students here who are about to become professionals, it is important that we take the step to break this taboo, each of us in our own way, definitely. When I asked Poroma yesterday about what should I be speaking today, she said, why don't you talk about your own life? The discussion today is about how mental wellness is important for the success of women. Well, I'll use my life stories as anecdotes. I'd like to begin with asking the first question to you regarding this. How do you all define success? Extremely high educational qualifications, foreign holidays, very fat purses, or roaring company designations? Well, I may have some another definition for you. I have come to learn from my own experiences and struggles with it over the years that success is getting up from the bed each day, wanting to make a cup of tea, wanting to bathe, wanting to get out, socialize, wanting to take care of myself. Mental health issues are not visible all the time, It is not how it is portrayed always in films or made to look like in novels. Sometimes it's very quiet. And sometimes it just hides behind this makeup I put every day to go to my workplace, or for that matter, your workplace. Mental health issues are not like potassium cyanide that kills you immediately. It depletes you. It depletes you layer by layer. Mental illness is more like arsenic. The very struggle to get up in the morning, make a cup of tea in the morning, not wanting to bathe, to just curl up in the bed and keep scrolling through the phone. We all do that sometimes, right? There are days like this. Unfortunately, all these signs are very telltale signs of, deep issues that lay within us. Mental health is not only imperative for anyone's success, women or men notwithstanding. It is important because we must continue to live to fight the battles, It is that important. And I am today talking about that silent killer that you may not even know exists in you, in your friend, in your mother, in your boss, or any lady that you admire. Because it's very hard to define it. And it is very hard to detect, and even harder to accept for yourself and the society you live in, because you may seem normal, chirpy, extrovert. Why should you have mental illness? Nobody wants to be labeled as someone who sees a therapist, That's the reality. When you're a student, classmates in your college and in later life, people in your workplace probably would laugh behind your back. It's a great gossip, that you're seeing a therapist. Why is it a gossip, if I may ask that question? Why is it such a shame to see a therapist openly? Why is it so difficult for us to admit, I'm struggling, I have a mental health issue? You know why? Because it is we who have shrouded mental illness in a societal wall of shame, made it sound like it's very shameful. Please remember, the first and most important step on the road to mental health is acknowledging the need to take action. For women, taking that first step can be particularly challenging due to, societal pressure or the image that you may uphold of being strong in the social media age these days. So I'll tell you something about my life. I was just about your age. I was 21, alone in Bangalore, studying my first master's in audiovisual communication in Comets, where I teach right now. So that's when I realized that I'm not sleeping for weeks. Weeks became months. Then I started buying cough syrups, over-the-counter sleeping pills from nearby stores to put myself to sleep, But I could not. I could not sleep at nights. I would miss my morning classes because I would fall asleep during the day. And I struggled for 6 months all alone. I had no clue what I was going through, And many of you may right now be able to relate to something like this. So when I told my close friends, very close friends who I know would not judge me, and the adults I could trust, they said, no, it cannot be depression, Swagata, because you're such an extrovert, you're so chirpy, how can you be depressed? So what was I going through really? I had no clue. And then because I'm involved in a lot of other social activities, I met this person who's a mental health worker, and he pushed me to see a psychiatrist. And that's where I gained my first wisdom about mental health. The head of the Department of Psychiatry of Victoria Hospital in Bangalore told me, and mind you, he was not at all as hot as Shah Rukh Khan looks like as a therapist in Love You Zindagi. He's like a boring psychiatrist, if I may say. But his words opened my eyes. He said, and listen to this very carefully, all of you, it might just open your eye. The very fact that you have realized that there is something wrong in you and you need help is 90% of the battle won. Whatever 10% is left, I, as a psychiatrist and other doctors, will help you with medicines and therapy. I was then diagnosed with severe clinical depression. And I remember how I became the college gossip, being called pagol, mental, nutcase, etc. We began with success, right? How important is mental health for women to be successful in this, in their lives? Well, I went on to top that year in my college in journalism. Next year, I received an International Media IDDA Award given by Dubai Media City for my outstanding work in radio. And that was to change my life forever, because I started as a journalist and moved on to radio for this award. I'm the only Indian from the radio industry to win it, and definitely the only Bengali. But for me, success was not winning that award. For me, success was to get up from my hostel bed, get bathed, put kajal, get ready for my classes, or, for that matter, write the script of the documentary that won me that international award. Because mental health issues stop you from wanting to do anything, and anything can mean getting up from the bed. The most daunting obstacle to treatment of mental health disorders is the societal stigma attached to the diseases. And young ones our next generation will be there to break these taboo. That is what Deepika Padukone is trying to break when she came out with her stories of struggle. And that is what I'm trying to do right now. Success, or what society perceives as success, is what blossoms when a woman has taken the first successful steps towards, acknowledging that something is wrong within her. For women's mental health, this knowledge that I know something is wrong within me is the power. Acting upon it is the empowerment. You can even, choose to get well discreetly, not telling anybody, or be as open as me or Deepika Padukone, but that you should not stop you from choosing your wellness. Before I end, I will tell you about the most daunting part of my life story. And I don't want to make any of you uncomfortable or sad, but stop me if you're getting uncomfortable. But this is just to tell you how I survived. In January 2020, in a pregnancy accident, I lost both my newborn twin boys. They were just 2 days old, and they were my only living children. I was in the hospital, still under treatment from that pregnancy accident. And after my boys passed away, I didn't want to live. I decided to die. So in that hospital, while on treatment, I stopped eating for 10 long days. Doctors were forcing down intravenous medicines to keep me alive from that starving. I didn't want to live at all. Having lost my children, I did not even find any purpose of my life anymore. It was during that very traumatic time, my husband told me that I could use my grief, my bereavement grief, my pain of child loss to help counsel other women like me who have lost their children too. Because, I have a platform, I can speak, I can write. Maybe, just maybe, that could give me some purpose to live. I kind of liked the sound of that. I slowly started eating and was discharged from the hospital after a month, still very frail, trauma-stricken. I could not sleep for months in that trauma. Now, exactly 2 years have passed since I lost my children. And in these 2 years, I needed a full year of aggressive therapy my own self. While on therapy, I decided to turn my story of trauma into something meaningful. And I started to write articles about child loss bereavement, blogs about mental health condition of mothers who lose their children. And in 2 years, my blogs have won awards. I have been published in American and British journals, spoken in international panels about it, and personally counseled and supported many hundred women through my story. And wanted to share this with you today because we are talking about success and mental health. You know what happened last week? A very famous British MP, Member of Parliament from London, who also represents an organization for the wellness of South Asian women and their mental health, called me. She fished me out. She figured my email and called me. And she told me to join the organization formally as their India representative to support their narrative. I call that success because I did not brush my mental illness under a rug and feel ashamed about it. I chose to work towards my wellness, From being a radio jockey to teaching students like you in Comets Bangalore, to being Sunny Leone's voice coach and voice trainer for celebrities, I have come a long way in my career, battling the obstacle called mental health. Mental illness, my dear, is not your success show ruiner. Not addressing it is what will stop you from being successful. I love to lead by example, and I hope students who are listening today will be inspired to follow my example. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your bold stories with us. It was
Thank you so much.
It was really very inspirational. I guess many of us can truly relate to such related stories where we hesitate to acknowledge our mental illness in some way or the other. So thank you, ma'am. Now we will have a very quick interaction with our active participants who are requested to ask questions directly by unmuting themselves, or they can also leave their questions in the chat box for us to read them out to Miss Swagata. Anyone?
Yeah, so
very used to feedbacks because I was a radio jockey for so long, and I could quickly, I see the messages, so I'm just quickly going to read them out. And thank you. I think there's a message from Ishita Chakraborty. Must say, ma'am, you have stayed so strong and keep fighting. Thank you for motivating us and giving us such a positive vibe. Thank you so much. Shuranjana Ghosh says, thank you, Miss Majumdar, for your encouraging lecture. The pleasure is all mine. And thank you so much for sharing your story. It was really inspiring. Thank you, Safika Sultana. Thank you so much.
Okay. So anyone else?
Yes, okay. Mehta, I would like to say something to Swagata, ma'am. Yes, I am Dr. Viswas, head of the department.
Yes, ma'am. Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. It has been wonderful listening to you. I am sure that you have listened to such compliments, but from the representative of School of Education, I would definitely like to say to you that this type of stories, which are real life stories, this is actually an eye-opener, not only for the women, but for all the students of School of Education, Department of Education, Adams University. So thanks a lot for your active deliberation. It has really inspired a lot of us, and I feel great and wonderful listening to you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
The pleasure is all mine, ma'am. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Thank you. Over to you, Sumedha.
Okay, so anyone else want to ask any kind of question to ma'am? Ma'am, I guess one of our friends, Sudipta Roy, is wanting to ask a question, but she's unable to unmute herself. So I'm asking her it from her behalf. That is, she's saying that you are right, ma'am. We hear people saying that extroverts cannot have depression. Even family members, for that matter, say the same thing. How did you seek family support? How did you convince them you needed to see a psychiatrist? So this is her question, ma'am.
Oh, very, very pertinent question. Thank you. When I first told my parents that I may have something going on in my head, they said cannot be because you are a talkative girl. It's not possible. So it was difficult because of the stigma attached. Even my family thought that, we do not have mental illness. Why should our daughter suddenly become pagol? And that's what happens, because that's what they think mental illness is. Mental illness is not Ranchi, Kake, Agra, or whatever. Mental illness is this.
Yes.
Mental illness is many of you. So that is the stigma I have tried to break. And my family, I think, took a lot of time to realize that my crusade was to break this barrier where the familial support and the close people support comes to somebody like me. So it took us a lot of time, but now they have connected. Initially, there was a lot of issues. They would tell me that, don't post your stories on social media. It doesn't look nice and people think you're mad. Well, people also think I'm successful. So why not?
Yes.
And if my stories inspire a few of you, why should I not be loud about them?
Yes, ma'am. Very well said, ma'am. I do believe in this. Thank you, ma'am. So moving forward, now I will hand it over to Arpita to carry it on. Over to you, Arpita.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was really enlightening. Your story is really an eye-opener for all of us. So moving forward, life is a journey of immense struggles and passing of milestones to claim the desired success. Now we are going to witness such as a splendid success story of an eminent international persona, Ms. Rania Lampu, who is a global STEM educator from Greece, social activist, global peace ambassador, and an international advisor of many international organizations. She has completed her bachelor's from the Philosopher School of Athens, Department of French Language and Literature, a STEM instructor at the Greek Astronomy and Space Company, and working at the Greece Ministry of Education currently. She is also the founder and co-founder of several award-winning STEM projects over the years. She is also the founder and international coordinator of 5 innovative international projects that focus on the United Nations goal enumerated in 2030 agenda. Ms. Lampu has many awards and accolades to her credit. She is titled as a global icon of 2020. She has received the Global Teacher Award in 2020 and has also won the first global prize in the international competition Particles for You International Particles Physics Outreach Program by the prestigious CERN in Geneva. She is also the president of Ladies of All Nations International for Greece, School of Education, Adamus University. Renders the heartiest welcome to Ms. Rania Lampu. Now I'm requesting the School of Education technical team for the pre-recorded clip to be played.
Hello, I'm Rania Lampu from Greece. I'm a multi-awarded global educator, STEM instructor, and new education researcher and scientist. And I'm very, very happy and honored to participate in the panel discussion session on 2nd March 2022 on the theme Success Stories of Women Leaders. Mental health and well-being of successful women will be the main topic of our discussion because mental health of women should be a key priority. First of all, creating a safe and healthy workplace is very important for the success of women. Unfortunately, the circumstances in many workplaces do not promote the mental health of women. And there are many reasons for that. Professional women are held back by sexism. Professional women working for their goals are burdened by sexual harassment, inequitable work settings, and subtle kinds of sexism. Professional women are denied the respect and opportunities for growth they deserve due to deeply rooted attitudes and biases against them. Professionals tend to think their male colleagues are competent, but they are less likely to think the same of their female colleagues. So professional women frequently struggle with co-workers or bosses who have low expectations of them or who dismiss them because of the gender. And furthermore, gender stereotypes and biases act against professional women's aspirations for leadership. Men's assertive behavior in the workplace is generally interpreted as strong, demanding, and direct, while women's forceful behavior is frequently interpreted as aggressive, as strident by the employers. Because they are concerned about gender-biased stereotyping, women may adopt less also proactive techniques while they seek for promotions. However, professional women's advancement to high levels of leadership is slowed also by their reluctance to self-advocate for a well-deserved increase or promotion. Unfortunately, a lifetime of socialization that teaches women to seek perfection themselves might also make professional women more risk-averse and so less motivated to advance. Unlike boys who are often taught to take chances and behave heroically by adults, girls are typically taught to be cautious. Historically, sexism and gender bias have resulted in institutional hurdles that prevent women from progressing up the corporate ladder. And so women are frequently left out of formal and informal social engagement, not because they're unwilling to participate, but because men do not invite them. As a result, professional women miss out on opportunities to develop the relationship necessary for progress and success. So women generally have restricted access to established networks which are dominated by professional men. This makes women feel like outsiders, preventing them from communicating, from belonging, and establishing themselves as equals with their male co-workers and supervisors. And furthermore, professional women frequently encounter major difficulties balancing work and family obligations. Their capacity to pursue leadership roles may be hampered by their family obligations, and that's because although working full-time, they frequently shoulder the majority of domestic chores, such as caring for children, sick, or elderly relatives. There are considerable differences between genders when it comes to the development of prevalent mental health diseases, according to research. Eating disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety are among them. One of the most common mental health disorders someone might struggle with is depression, and twice as men experience depression women at some point in their lives when they are compared to men. Gender, genetic, socio-economic differences all play a role in the development of depression in women. And also anxiety is another very common mental health issue. Women are twice as likely to experience it as men. So the overwhelming majority of individuals who are exposed to violent conflicts, to civil wars, displacement from home, and natural disasters, according to research, are women and children. And women are also exposed to higher levels of sexual violence and have higher rates of post-traumatic stress disorder associated with sexual violence. So women's mental health is a key component of overall happiness. It allows to maintain cognitive flexibility, emotional sanity, and a sense of balance in their lives and relationships. It is critical now that time be set aside by us, women, each and every day to focus on mental and physical well-being in order to live a happy and positive life. A cheerful attitude and mentality are beneficial to individuals' mental and physical health and can reap mental health advantages fundamentally. Thank you very much. See you all in the panel discussion on 2nd March. Thank you very much. Bye.
That was a beautiful speech. Thanks to Ms. Rania Lampu. Now let's give a warm welcome to our second panelist, Ms. Alina Sabu. She is a Dalit feminist thinker and writer from Kerala. She often publishes articles in various online and print media about the intersections of caste, gender, sexuality, religion, and addresses the issues felt by Dalits in Christian communities. After completing her master's in English language and literature, she joined Chila, an organization for the welfare of children, as a volunteer. She expresses her politics and thoughts through poetry written in Malayalam, and some of her poems are widely discussed on social media as well. Her recent poetry collection is Silk Root, was published in 2021. Over to you, ma'am. Miss Alina Sabu, am I audible? Okay, so Alina Sabu is saying that she can't unmute. I request the SOE technical team to kindly let her unmute herself.
Thank you so much. Now I suddenly became able to do it. Actually, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this discussion, and I'm thanking Adamas University for conducting this meeting to talk about the mental health issues and the success of women. And I've been keenly listening to other panelists and other people who share their valuable thoughts about mental health, women, success, and everything. And I've been touched by some of the experiences shared here. And if you ask me what is a major reason for women to have more mental health issues than men, uh, some uh, statistics has been shared that 1 in 5 women experience mental health struggles, when only 1 in 8 men experience this kind of struggles. If you ask me, the number one reason for such a disparity to exist is the existence of patriarchy. The every system in this world, in this human world, is designed by patriarchy for in favor of men, which assign the role of a primary caretaker to women, to benefit the general cause of men, that is the family, the society, the religion, the workplaces, the capitalist workplaces, and everything is designed in a way in which men can succeed. And for them to succeed, it is very necessary for women to make some kind of adjustments in their lives, and then provide and take care for men so that their success become very easy. So from speaking from a personal perspective, I am someone who is suffering from chronic depression. I was diagnosed 2 years ago, and I thought, before the diagnosis came out, I thought I was extremely lazy and I was extremely unhygienic, because I couldn't pull myself into the shower. I couldn't wash my hair. I couldn't brush my teeth properly. So all these unhygienic practices were there, which caused me additional health issues like bleeding gums and other urinary issues, because I couldn't pull myself out of the bed and go to pee. And that practice of holding pee for too much time caused me other health issues as well. So I was it was very difficult for me for a long time. And after completing the degree, I couldn't go to further studies, just because I had this illness, and I thought I was lazy and I was incompetent and everything. And after that, the insomnia developed and I couldn't sleep at night. uh, in that point, I went to the doctor and I saw the doctor for to get the sleeping pills, so I can just doze off, I can just pass out. Then and there, I was diagnosed with chronic depression. I'm living with depression, taking medicines every day, and I'm trying very hard to pull myself out of that place. So actually, it took me a lot of time to understand that there is something uh, wrong with me, or I I'm not a very healthy person in the first place. It is because the whole system was already set me up to fail. The patriarchy, the caste system, everyone is waiting for me to fail. And when I fail, they can use me as a fertilizer, help themselves grow. That kind of system exists in India and all over the world. And if you ask about the family and how women are treated in families, which further cater into the development of such diseases. I was raised by a woman, my mother, I was raised by a woman who had terrible anger management issues in her teenage. And she actually, I have heard that she almost blinded a man by hitting him with stones because she was angry. That kind of violent person was my mother, and I was raised by that kind of an angry person. So everything I did was criticized. Everything, sometimes I don't even know what the wrong thing I did, and I was scolded and I was beaten up. I endured a lot of physical violence from her. So her problem is she doesn't have a healthy way to cope up with her anger, and that issue has been affecting her ability to interact with her child in a very healthy manner. And she doesn't understand that there are other ways to cope up with her issue, and there are other healthy ways to actually resolve and cure her issue, because those kind of conversations do not happen usually in our households. So I come from a very poor family which belongs to the Dalit community. So you guys can guess how things work there. So her mental health issues passed on in a different form, and made me a troubled child, and which made me a troubled adult. So the lack of conversation and the lack of resolution around the mental health issues of women is causing generations and generations of pain, struggles, and trauma to to women all over the world. So once I heal and once you heal, you guys can actually break this curse of intergenerational trauma and pain and struggling, and we can together build some kind of a very positive and more welcoming world and a society in which people with such issues such as depression, anxiety can find better treatment, and the issues could be treated like physical illnesses as well. So it is very simple. If you broke your arm, you just go to the hospital and you get it treated. There is no stigma associated with it, no taboo around the conversations regarding that. But I hope that the same will happen to mental health issues and treatment regarding after some time, when conversations like this happen and people become more aware that this is more normal than they think. And I hope that it would pave way to a more sensitive society, in which people are more concerned about the welfare of others, other than the selfish people of the society of the selfish people who which is happening around right now. And I've heard people talking about the issues surrounding the employment of women, and most of the time women would be unemployed or less paid. And we all know about the situation of mental health treatments in India. It's very expensive. It's super expensive. You cannot afford it if you don't have a job, or if you are the person who earns a very low income. And the government hospitals are there which provide treatment for free, but the therapists there, they will be super busy, and it would be almost impossible to get their service when you need it. So there are systemic changes that should be the systemic changes should be done from the side of government, as well as the other social changes also should be welcomed in this situation. And I received a message to make it short, so that's all I want to say now, and I'm waiting for the wonderful questions to answer the questions. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So sorry to interrupt, but thank you again. It's very unfortunate that such things are still prevalent around us. We all strongly agree with you. The upliftment of Dalits is such a noble idea. No wonder you reached such heights. Now we will have a very quick interaction with our active participants who are requested to ask questions directly by unmuting themselves, or they can also leave their questions in the chat box for us to read them out to ma'am. Anyone? Okay, so Neha Datta is asking, do you think mental health facilities are accessible to the marginalized community? She's asking this question. That is, it is by Neha Datta.
Thank you, Neha Datta. Actually, I don't think that the mental health facilities are accessible to the marginalized communities yet, because one of the reasons I have already stated that it is expensive. And we know about the marginalized communities. They often falls into the poor category of people, and these people would most of the time be lower class. So this super expensive therapy and medication and those sort of things are less accessible to marginalized people. And the second reason is the lack of conversation around such issues, and the number of the institutions which provide this kind of treatments are very low, and the general awareness surrounding such institutions. So altogether, it is very difficult for them to access, for us to access mental health institutions and their facilities.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So there is another question by Ayana Chatterjee. Let me read it out as well. She is first of all thanking you for your inspiring speech, and her question is, how casteism and patriarchy affect the mental health of women?
Actually, patriarchy and casteism are two oppressive systems which takes advantage of people, especially marginalized people. So both of these oppressive systems have rules in which these people should follow, and they have the ways to punish the people who does not fall into, or who does not wholeheartedly obey these kind of rules. So one of them is shaming. Both patriarchy and casteism shame people who does not follow its rules. The rules they created for them to exist, all these systems to exist. We knowingly or unknowingly follow these rules in our everyday life. So that kind of shaming and expulsion creates a lot of tension and struggles within individuals, and there are also stereotypes, these systems, this ideology put forward, and those stereotypes are extremely unhealthy to the individual, and it creates tension and struggles. And yeah, that's the basic thing I have to say about how these systems operates and how these systems affect one's mental health. Thank you.
Shumedha, please unmute yourself. Shumedha?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am. There are few. There is one more question. I guess let's finish it off as she has asked it. Since mental health is a taboo topic, how the conversation about mental health can be generated inside the family? This is asked by Shujana Chatterjee.
Thank you for the question. Actually, the responsibility of starting the discussion around mental health issues that falls upon us, the young generation of the society. So we should take initiative to start the questions, and we should work hard even in our families to break the stereotypes and to talk openly about our own struggles. And I think that is how we initiate that kind of a conversations. Even if we are watching television together, at least once we witness some kind of shaming mental health thing and shaming people who are mentally ill, I think we can start from there, that like we can tell people that mama, papa, it's not fair, it's not their fault, things like that. I think that's a good start, and we should start educating the people who are younger than us, the children, in a way that it is not very odd or awkward to talk about mental health issues, and such things would definitely help. That's all I have to say about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much again, ma'am. Okay, so moving forward, handing it over to again Arpita Biswas. Over to you, Arpita.
Thank you so much, Sumita, and thank you so much, ma'am, for your illuminating speech. And thank you to the participants for actively interacting and taking up your queries and getting solved by ma'am. I hope it will help you in your long run. Now, coming up next is Miss Vaishali Dasgupta Nandi. She is a horror thriller writer and teacher by profession. She loves to read and travel. Vaishali resides in Kolkata, and she has written many books published by various publications of Bengali book industry. Many of her stories have been featured in Sunday Suspense, a renowned program of Radio Mirchi. She has acquired a double master degree in different subjects like Bengali and education from Calcutta University and IGNOU respectively. She has bagged a professional degree of BA course from West Bengal State University. Vaishali believes in the freedom of individual. She is proud to be a woman and a proud mother of a girl child. Requesting again the School of Education technical team to present the pre-recorded video of Ms. Nandi.
Hi all. Before introducing myself, I would like to thank Dr. Sharon Mukherjee, Director, School of Education, Admas University. I am Vaishali Dasgupta Nandi. By profession, I am an assistant teacher of Nimta Jivantosh Ghosh Memorial Girls High School, and by passion I am an author. I write thriller, and thriller contains a load of mental psychological issues. After finishing every novel, I have to deal with my own, such as fatigue, depression, mental tiredness, and like that. But after publishing the book, appreciation from my readers takes away my illness. I think success is a relative word. If you think yourself successful, then you are successful. Good mental health depends upon your mental peace, and make sure that your mental peace do not depend on outside world, that comes from inside you. Do not let anybody to ruin your inner peace. This is the first key to your success. Nobody will gift freedom or success to you. Mind that. I am the only owner of my mental peace and success. In India, the path of success of the woman is not a bed of roses. We have to earn our own success. For that, women should take care of their mental health.
Every time when I feel defeated, nothing is going right, I take a deep breath, look at the sky and pat my own shoulder, telling myself, you are the best, you are unique, you can face the battle, and within a moment I feel better. As per Rabindranath Tagore, Nari tumi ardhek akash, half of the sky of universe is yours, woman. But women are twice as likely to be affected with mental illness such as PTSD, depression, anxiety, etc. 12% of women compared to 6% of men suffer from mental health issues. More than 1 in 3 women have experienced sexual violence and assault during their lifetime. This can cause various mental disorders. In these cases, we need to seek professional help. Mental health is just as important as physical health. We should never invalidate our trauma because
Okay, there may be a technical issue from the technical department, but just wait for a few seconds so that they can resume the video again.
School of Education, Adamas University.
them whenever they need to talk. Talking and opening up to someone we trust may not seem like a big deal, but it is very important. At the end, I would take the opportunity to tell you, enjoy the womanhood. We are the mother of universe. We can do it. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for recording such a beautiful video for us. We are unfortunately not having you here, but we are really inspired.
I think Arpita, Vaishali ma'am is there with us. I don't know she's able to speak or not. I'm just requesting Madam Vaishali, are you there?
Actually, I'm in my school, so
I
many
know.
noises around me. Yes, I am here, but I have to leave now. Thank you for giving me such an opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay. Arpita, you can carry.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would request, as we have already heard the success story of Miss Lampu, and fortunately we have her today this afternoon with us. So I would request Ms. Lampu to please unmute yourself and have a few words with us. Ms. Lampu, it's over to you.
I guess she's unable to unmute herself.
Yes, can you enable also to share my screen? Okay. Okay. So good afternoon here from Greece. Would like to convey my warm congratulations for the organization of this very, very significant and very resourceful event about women and for giving me this amazing opportunity to discuss today. Thank you very much, Dr. Sharon Mukherjee, for your kind invitation always. You know, I'm a global educator, I'm a STEM instructor, I'm a multi-awarded researcher, keynote speaker, author of scientific books for kids, global peace ambassador. Currently, I'm working at the Greek Ministry of Education and also at the Greek Astronomy Space Company. I have been awarded over 130 national awards, and I was selected among the best teachers in the world with the Global Teacher Prize and Global Teacher Award. However, today I don't want to present a perfect and ideal image of me. This is not my goal. You know, in recent years, especially throughout the COVID pandemic, we have seen a shift in how people perceive and talk about mental health. Today, as we celebrate women across the globe, we can take this opportunity and highlight how successful women deal with their own mental health struggles. And you know that the media often portray mental and psychiatric illness in a negative, stigmatizing and dangerous fashion. However, you know, all these public figures, celebrities that we are willing to discuss their struggles with depression or anxiety or addiction, this is very, very important because this opening up could be effective to helping down the stigma, to spark essential dialogues and, of course, inspire individuals to seek for treatment. So behind every photograph of celebrities that we see, I think is an untold story. We often don't know what's truly going on behind the scenes and behind these glossy publicity snapshots. So life is not as glamorous as the images that would have us to think. So here, I want to say that high achieving women usually have similar characteristics in common. Perfectionism, the strong inner criticizing, and the desire to be approved by others. This is what I was suffering, me too, from my early age. And all of these, of course, characteristics show self-motivated, reflective, and naturally seeking high standards, of course, but they go often hand in hand with being sensitive, with a tendency to lack self-confidence. And you know that according to statistics, we are twice as likely to suffer from anxiety disorders than men, and 2.5 times as likely to develop depression. And of course, the reasons for these gender differences are complex. I think that also probably speakers have already discussed about this, and include our tendency of women to internalize negative feelings. So I think that it's very important to open up and share our feelings today. We don't need to feel ashamed. Because this process of sharing with emotions or with someone else, it's something that is very liberating and cathartic, and something that will build inner strength and emotional resilience, and of course can give us tools to cope better in the future. So as I said before, the first I was suffering from the syndrome of perfection. But after many years of hard working, I realized that I can't be perfect because there is no perfection in this world.
And this syndrome of perfection went along with anxiety. My anxiety first started when I was younger and I had to take tests at school. So I remember panicking. I had serious stomach problems still today because of excessive stress. And then my teachers told me, calm down, deep breaths. I have basically been an anxious person in all my life. I have suffered from that. Apart from these challenges, I had to face gender discrimination in my work because I participated in a very innovative program some years before. It was a program that gave me all this award, but I had huge challenges because this program concerned teaching particle physics, modern physics to primary school students. And then there were parents, there were other teachers or colleagues who said that a woman can't teach particle physics. So we're talking still 21st century skills. There are still this type of stereotypes. So I had to prove myself that I had value, even to parents. I had to arrange many pedagogical sessions to convince them about myself. So this inner criticism, this strong desire to be approved by others is where it start the problems with mental health. So here we need to understand systemic and societal issues affecting women's mental health, especially in a workplace, because this way we can we can understand that all these struggles are normal. They are not a source of shame, and this can help us create space to provide guidance and support. And of course, if we talk about an organization, this could enable employees to access the help they need. Another problem that I had to face is burnout. It's actually one of the biggest issues surrounding burnout for women. One of the biggest issues is that some women don't know that they are burning out until it's too late. So it's something that builds up slowly over time, often without any one big incident. So I burned out some years before. I didn't really know what burnout was. I had heard obviously about people having anxiety or depression, but I never really thought that I would ever be affected by that. Because I always consider myself as a physical superactive, a superwoman and healthy person. But of course, this is not true because sleepless nights and excessive hard work can lead, of course, to burnout and results without even taking notice about. So we actually here need to look at our habits in order to prevent burnout from happening again and being a repeat burnout offender. For instance, I have this sleep issue. I mean, there are many times because of my work that I can't sleep. My work doesn't allow me to sleep. But I'm trying to control all that, and now I have tried to take better all this bad version of myself and to improve all my habits. We have to realize that if we haven't changed our habits over multiple years, that's probably the reason why we keep burning out. So if you're changing a job or a role, you're taking those unhealthy habits with you. So it's actually an inner voice that can help you to realize that you have to change, and this will start from you inside. Yes?
Ma'am, pardon me, I'm extremely sorry. Actually, the time is really limited. So I would request if you could wrap it up within 2 minutes because there are...
Okay. I have a lot to say. Okay. I want to say about that feeling like a failure is actually a real thing, and especially this age of social media with its filter images and glamorous stories, etc. It's easy to say for you that I'm not good enough or I'm a failure. But what you need to do as a strategist before winding up, it's that you need to prioritize your mental health, because managing a busy life while maintaining sanity is a skill that can be learned. successful women recognize that each day offers countless opportunities to tackle amazing challenges and how to overcome them. We just need to set up priorities, to say my wellness is first, and after all that. So we need to pay ourselves first, to understand that nobody benefits if we're giving 1000% of ourselves. And if others see us like depressed or depleted, we need to improve our sleep quality. It's very, very important to practice our passions. This could be taking a hobby. I'm doing, for instance, Zumba classes and Latin dance, learning how to relax, making lists, improve communication with people that we trust and we can confide in. And of course, practice mindfulness is very, very important because it helps us become more aware of our thoughts, of our feelings, instead of being overwhelmed by them. So we're better able to enable them. And this could happen through observation and through also not judging inner experiences, but accept ourselves as it is, and acting with awareness and non-reactivity to our inner experiences. Thank you very much for
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really, we are really fortunate to have you with us today. Thank you for your speech live. We already heard about you in your pre-recorded video. Thank you so much. Now I would request my beautiful co-moderator to take it up from here.
Thank you, Arpita, for the compliment. Okay, moving on. Let's hear the success story of another international personality, Princess Dr. Desiree Richardson. She is a multi-global award-winning world woman visionary leader, international best-selling author, humanitarian, face model, fashionista, producer, media personality, and entrepreneur. She specialized in women's empowerment as a thought leader, transformational and inspirational speaker who uses her voice as a powerful magnetic vehicle to convey positivity and empowerment to help change lives. Miss Desiree does this to empower women and recognize their talents and achievements and celebrate them in their best, brightest, and boldest through her empowering platforms and projects such as Face of Woha, Women of Heart Foundation, and Gentlemen of Heart Award, designed to uplift and influence others positively, and through her fashion brands. Again, requesting the School of Education technician team to play the pre-recorded video for all of us.
My one wish for you is to be happy and to feel inclusive and to live in a world where diversity, peace, love, and kindness can be radiated and felt through every human existence. I am Princess Dr. Desiree Richardson, and I'm here to send you warm love and greetings from London. Thank you to Dr. Sharon Mukherjee, Department Director of Education, for this amazing opportunity to talk about the importance of women's empowerment and the importance of mental health and the mindset. Please allow me to further introduce myself. I am the founder of Women of Heart Foundation, Women of Heart Awards, Face of Woha, and Gentlemen of Heart Awards. All of these platforms were created in the mindset of empowering, inspiring, enlightening, and educating the world while celebrating all these individuals who are making a difference. Women's empowerment is to celebrate Women's International Day. The mindset of a woman is so crucial. Women are the guiding lights of our rational world. And for us to succeed and bring light, peace, love, joy, and abundance into the world, it all starts within. As a woman who is the pride and joy of today's world, We should allow ourselves to spread love, peace, kindness for our other sisters across the world, despite our religious beliefs, despite our cultures, despite our skin tones, despite our eye color. We are all one, and we are all here for a reason. So many women in this world are facing difficult challenges. Some of us, we don't believe that it's possible, but I'm here to tell you that it is possible. You are worthy. You are amazing. Keep your eyes on the prize. You are the prize. You were born for a reason, and whatever that reason was assigned to you, you can make a difference. You can create the life that you want. There is enough abundance for you, but you have to find yourself. And the only way that you can find yourself and discover your true being is discovering who you are. Self-love is so crucial. Without self-love, how are you able to love yourself? How are you able to take care of your emotional intelligence? So self-love is so important to get you forward, to build your confidence, to build your self-esteem, because when you allow yourself to love yourself, you won't allow anyone to tell you that you're not, that you're different, that you're not capable, that you're not responsible, that you can't make it. I'm here to tell you that dream big. Keep your mindset positive to create an understanding of the reason why you're here. It's not how you were born into the world. It's a legacy that you will leave behind. So always think about knowing your true value and how to add more of it into your life. And when you get to the top of the ladder, through your education, through the love and the kindness that you share, remember to stay resilient, to continue to be selfless, to care for each other, to care for your sisters that needs your hand, to go out in the community and help those women to empower their mindsets, to know that it is possible when they don't think that there's a possibility. So put love in all you do. When love wins, the world wins. Stay true to yourself and believe that you are created to leave a footprint in this world. So take care of your mind and be empowered. All my love. Dr. Desiree from London. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Desiree, for recording this clip for us. And again, we are very much fortunate to have her live with us in this meeting. So I would request Dr. Desiree, please unmute yourself and have a quick 2 minutes round of words for us and sharing it in this meeting for everyone.
Hi, namaste. Hi, everyone. Namaste. Sending all my warm wishes to all of you who are here today. Thank you to Adamas University and to our lovely hosts, and of course our panel of international and also speakers from your side of the pond, which is the amazing India. And I can't wait to come and to learn more about the culture, because this is something that I enjoy. And I'm so grateful to be here to talk about mental health and the mindset. And of course, as someone who specializes in women's empowerment. So I would like to talk about women empowerment for 2 minutes in a decade. And this is the reason why I created these platforms, is to change the mindset, especially for the new generations of young girls and women of today, is to get into the mindset, because words are powerful. And I just want to say to women everywhere, and of course, my platforms are also designed to to help men as well to empower themselves in order to empower the women and the girl child. But I rightfully believe in a decade from now, women will be taking their rightful place in global and presidential leadership and unite in a solid unity to be the decisive force of peace, love, and harmony for a better world with hope, tolerance, where mighty nations will embrace global women's leadership. Women empowerment and women are the guiding lights in our rational world. And in a decade, these spheres of women's light are going to be central and going to be shown as the fixers, the carers, the teachers, and the leaders and the peacemakers that we are. And we are going to forge great connections between like-minded women to authorize a new generation of young girls to feel love, to feel accepted where there's no limitation, where all can feel the icy hands of support for their mental health, for their well-being, their stability, and of course, their education. Women empowerment will continuously stimulate the mindset of women to empower themselves, to empower the children, to share positive energies of love, kindness, wherever they go through. Diverse women coming together and empowering platforms such as the Face of Woha, which is Face of Woha, the Empowered Woman platform, which connects various people to help change the world through speech. So all of this will balance their emotions because words, as I did mention before, are powerful. So therefore, as women, we can choose what we allow to manifest in our lives. And with the right choices, opportunities will then open for us. So I just want to say to everyone, women empowerment will have the understanding. As women, we will have the strength and determination to leave a legacy that will help others by showing compassion and teaching them how to be kind, grateful, humble, and caring. And as I always will say, we need to put love in all we do. When love wins, the world wins. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm sending once again all my love to all of you here and wishing you the very best. But you have to take care of your mind because that's where your power is. And of course, your emotional intelligence. And never let anyone tell you that you are not the person that you're meant to be in this world because you are a beautiful soul, a beautiful being, and you can become anything that you possibly want to become if you believe in yourself. Thank you so much for having me. All my love.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are honored to have you today evening. So we are on the verge of ending the panel discussion. Now I would like to call our last panelist, Ms. Surabhi Sarkar. She has completed her bachelor's in comparative literature from Jadavpur University and currently pursuing a PG diploma in counseling and well-being from NCEB, also from Jadavpur University. She has done training on addressing child marriage and violence against women and girls from Breakthrough. Ms. Sarkar has a presence in various international projects, workshops, forums, and festivals as well. She has been actively involved in capacity building in culture and entertainment based social communication and led art and craft based livelihood project coordination at the field level in West Bengal. She did her specialization in communication and life skills training of women, youth, and children. She has also led theater-based campaigns on the prevention of violence against women and children, health, HIVs, AIDS, consumer rights, sanitation, and energy conservation at West Bengal, Goa, Rajasthan, Orissa, and Punjab. Now I would like to invite her to be active and live with our participants. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I would like to share my screen a little later. Before that, a very good evening to all my co-panelists, conveners, moderators, guests, and respected faculty members of School of Education, Adamas University, students, and other person who are
here with us. It's an honor and great opportunity to celebrate Women's Day with all of you. In the beginning, I would like to share the theme of International Women's Day 2022. Can I share the screen right now?
Yes, ma'am, sure. I think it's enabled to you.
Okay. Here you can see the theme of the International Women's Day 2022. Imagine a great gender equal world, a world free of bias, stereotype, and discrimination, a world that diverse, equitable, and inclusive, a world where difference is valued and celebrated. Together, we can forge women's equality. Collectively, we can all break the bias. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are talking about half of the world population. Before going to the topic, I want to share my professional experience in the sector of women and child rights. Near about 2 decades, I'm working with children, especially adolescents and women from marginalized community. In my experience, I observed that inequality based on gender are still prominent everywhere. Therefore, crimes like child marriage, female feticide, human trafficking, and other forms of gender-based violence are prevalent. Although we all are taking steps ahead to prevent these crimes, new policies, amendment of laws, schemes, initiatives, etc., there to protect the rights of women and children. As an rights and well-being specialist, I believe that human behavior and attitude deeply influenced by gender politics and social norms. If we dream of an equal world, we all need to take actions to change our mindset. Only then we will be able to bring change within our society. Today's topic is how important is mental health for success of women. As other panelists mentioned that success is very subjective experience. The definition of success is different for each of us. Also, we all have an unique brain and response mechanism. Our common point for all of us is that we all are human beings and social beings. We live in a society and experience our journey. Social norms, cultural factors, socioeconomic conditions, etc. are the core area that shapes our mental health. The World Health Organization Ottawa Charter defines health as a positive concept emphasizing social and personal resources as well as physical capacities. Mental health is the capacity of the individual, the group, and the environment to interact with one another in ways that promote subjective well-being, the optimal development and use of mental abilities, the achievement of individual and collective goals consistent with justice and the attainment and the preservation of fundamental equality. If we are talking about fundamental equality, now we need to see the statistics. I'm not going to read out all the statistics here, just sharing the slide with you. You can find the statistics of women participation in every sphere where we belong. This is the statistics. I'm skipping this slide because time is short. Strict social norm and gender stereotype, home quarantine and resource deflection to respond the COVID-19 situation pandemic can reduce access to health services and make them more vulnerable. Already we have talked about this. During the COVID lockdown, domestic violence against women increased. Indian women filed more DV complaints during the period than previous 10 years period. It's horrible. Women lost jobs, survived without any social protection. Many women contacted with us. I am running a social enterprise called Mission Wellbeing, and here many women shared that the intimate partner violence, and now they are suffering chronic anxiety, stress, trauma, and many of them are suffering depression. With this background here, we all are talking about the relationship between mental health and success. It is very much visible that gender are actually playing a key role to shape women's mind. And finally, it is affecting the overall success and well-being. Gender norm describes how people of a particular gender and age expected to behave in a given social context. Harmful gender norms result in many types of inequalities between girls and boys. While the gender norms can affect all children, but proven to disproportionately affecting girls more. Because of these norms, the women are in a cage of multiple shoulds and nodes. For example, we always restrict the freedom of expression of a girl child in the very beginning of their childhood. What do we say? We always keep saying that girls should be polite, girls should know the household work, girls should respect family values, etc. We always keep saying, बेटी तो पराया धन, औरत की एक माँ की जात है. These all deep-rooted social beliefs and values actually stop girl or women to explore themselves. This bundle of values, beliefs, and shoulds build the confusing self-worth of women, and they always look for validation from others to celebrate their success, achievement, and decisions. They also face self-doubt too. For example, most of the women are very conscious about their motherhood, and unknowingly, they are in a race to prove themselves as best mother. The best mother psychology is nothing but the validation of self-worth. If a woman is being compared to others or elders, she started doubting herself, and this process pulls them to celebrate their skills and their motherhood. As we said that discrimination still exists and there is lack of life skills among women, there are limited opportunities, policies, and schemes to improve life skills components since early childhood in our country. Gender norms affecting cognitive behavior. Girls or women are not vocal about their rights, and because of these social norms. When I was working with girls of Malda, Murshidabad, and 24 Parganas, I observed that we are working on prevention of child marriage. We always try to motivate the school girls to say no. Of course, few girls could say no, but large number of girls couldn't say. That made me understand that the inner drive of saying no is missing. They are not mentally ready to say no. They are in the cage of social and gender norms. All the shoots, all the beliefs or values stop them to say no. We have organized multiple life skill trainings to improve their negotiation, decision making, problem solving, or communication skills. It will observe that this process helps them to boost up their self-confidence, and they are able to value their own choice for a better life. Overall, cognitive behavior is a vast area of mental health and social acceptance, and the validation play a key role in the formation of one person's cognitive behavior. So we already discussed that gender-based violence or sexual violence, they are affecting mental health and post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety, already we have discussed. Gender norms primarily affect women's economic empowerment by influencing participation about the appropriate roles the man and woman should play in society, at home, and in the economic sphere. Women around the world face barrier to participating in the labor force, especially in traditionally male-dominated sector. So here, norms are also cited to justify violence towards women and sexual harassment. In some cases, laws to protect women either don't exist or aren't enforced. Addressing these barriers in low-income countries can improve both women's well-being and the country's entire economics. Although in this situation, we are observing some changes, we all are coming forward, we are celebrating our womanhood. Women are participating across sectors and successful women are there. Here we all women listen to the common phrase that is called balance, means work and personal life balance. My question is, does the balance applies for irrespectively of all gender? Maybe no. The working women are forced to balance or sacrifice. Working women also suffer self-doubt and lack of self-worth. They are unable to take decisions by ignoring the set of gender and social norms. Being economically active women, we all experience various kind of manipulation and discrimination within the family, outside or outside the family or within the family. This is increasing stress and anxiety, depression, and overall well-being too. In conclusion, I would like to mention that gender norms can change. Therefore, we all need to review our values, beliefs, and shoulds. We all can collectively contribute to changing norms. To celebrate or value everyone's success, we all need to understand the self. We all need to prioritize our psychological needs, which is the backbone of all kinds of success and well-being of human life. Women need to identify their potential and exclusive selves and value them without any bias or lens of gender norms. Then only we can experience the freedom and the pride of success. Thanks to be patient and giving me the opportunity to talk here and share the platform with all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your informative presentation. No offense, participants, but moderators really do not get a chance to ask questions. We entertain the questions of participants, but I have a question for Surabhi ma'am, that how to access legal services to protect women's rights.
Yes. First of all, if one woman is facing the violation of any kind of rights, there are multiple laws in our country, and recently the government of India and government of West Bengal, different police stations, they have taken initiative to start helpline numbers. That is 181 is a very common helpline number. One woman can seek help in this helpline number too. And the first and foremost thing that one woman should go to the nearest police station to access the service. That is the first service provider. And law is with us. There are multiple laws, that is, you may know the law POCSO, where if one girl, child or boy, anyone under 18 who are actually suffering the sexual assault or sexual violence, they can access the POCSO Act. And we have the Domestic Violence Act and Sexual Harassment Act in workplace. We have multiple things, but the first thing we need to take the courage, get the courage and go to the nearest service provider. That may be the police station, maybe the hospital. So otherwise you can access the toll-free number 181.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable information. Thank you so much for being with us. Now I would request Shumeda to take over from here.
Once again, thank you, ma'am, for your beautiful speech. Now, last but not the least, I would request our pillar of constant support, motivation, and inspiration, That is, our respected female faculty of School of Education, Adamas University, to share their views upon the Women's Day celebration. Handing it over to our female faculty, School of Education.
Just before that, I'm requesting Madam Shurobi to please. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. And I'm really overwhelmed to express my view in this auspicious occasion while celebrating International Women's Day. For me, each and every woman is a born fighter, empowered, and hard worker. The thing is that they have to recognize their own talent, they have to dream high, and they have to cross all the barriers to reach there. And on this day, I must repeat the words of famous Indian philosopher Swami Vivekananda. And every woman should make this as their motto. The word is, arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all the honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Shinjini Nag, Assistant Professor of Life Science, School of Education, Adamas University. It's a great pleasure to celebrate this International Women's Day with you all and share my thoughts on this day. International Women's Day is celebrated every year on 8th of March with huge enthusiasm around the world to honor women's achievements in social, political, economic, and other fields of life. International Women's Day was created to put forward and express an idea to the world that each gender deserves to be treated as equal because men and women are the two wings of society. So, this International Women's Day, let us all show appreciation, respect, love to all the incredible women in our lives. Let us show that we are proud of their efforts and pledge to create a world where women do not have to face any affliction. To end with some lovely words, all I can say is women are the warriors fighting without swords and conquering through love. Thank you so much.
Greetings to everyone present here. Myself, Srijata Vishwash, Assistant Professor, School of Education, Adamas University. We are now living in 21st century and world is slowly moving towards gender balancing. Though child abuse, child marriage, gender biasness, all are happening. The change is required around the world, so a special day should be there to show your respect to every woman in your life, how much you love them, how much you care about them. So happy womanhood to each and every woman. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Montishu Ghosh, Assistant Professor, School of Education, Adamas University. Regarding to this, I want to say that besides talking about women empowerment, in relation to economically self-independent women can be represent themselves as a resource person for the society as a whole if they start their own entrepreneurship for the overall betterment and progress of the society. All power is within you. You can do anything and everything by Swami Vivekananda. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, one and all. Myself, Anurna Boido, Assistant Professor of School of Education, Adamas University. Before talking about women empowerment and Women's Day, one thing struck to my mind, that is a famous poem by Maya Angelou's phenomenal poem that suggests that every woman have an essential role to play in the society, and hence they are considered to be an fundamental part of the society. Empowering women just helps us to inculcate the sense of self-worth, self-respect, self-dignity, and self-independent within us. Actually, we observe International Women's Day in order to cherish the success and hardships of all the women across the world, and also to uphold their achievements in various spheres of their life. These actually help us to foster awareness related to the potentialities and the capacity building of the women they are actually having, so that they can never feel themselves inferior and suppressed in the society. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm extremely overjoyed to get a chance to share my views. I am Shamia Roshni, Assistant Professor in the School of Education. In the International Women's Day is a time to celebrate progress towards gender equality and women empowerment, as well as to critically reflect on those achievements and seek more momentum towards gender equality throughout the world. It's a day to celebrate women's outstanding achievements and to unite efforts to advance gender equality throughout the world. So, feminism is not only a concept but also a way of life. It stands for living voice to the oppressed whose rights are violated and even trivialized. In this context, Rokeya Shakwat Hossain is an important literary figure and social activist and feminist. I would like to talk about her feminist utopia text, which is Sultana's Dream. As title goes, the story opens in a dream sequence. A girl named Sultana once noticed a woman in her room with whom he befriended and considered as Sister Sarah, who has invited her to come out of her room. Initially, Sultana was surprised and apprehensive of the dark. As he walked out the room, following the glowing light of the bright new moon, to Sultana's encounter with a typical opposite world, then her own word shows how much he has internalized and restriction on women. So, the extreme radical element in Sultana or Begum Rokeya's writing is visible in the text, where she made many references, saying men are good for nothing. She also mentioned that Lady Land consists of no police or jail, as all men are inside Mardana. Therefore, as described by Sister Sarah, as people, those who actually commit crimes are indoors, there is no need for such measures. The celebration of scientific temperament by women in Sultana's Dream itself makes it a radical feminist text. Not only she has glorified women's participation in science as a safer option, but also maintained that given a chance, men has not only misused it. If a woman receive a chance to participate in scientific learning, they can also make use of it for future generation without wasting resources. In this way, Sultana's Dream, although happened to come in a dream sequence, shows the author's inner desire to break all the barriers relate to women. So I thank everyone for giving me the scope to share my views on Sultana's Dream.
Greetings to everyone. I am Dr. Akhi Gun, Assistant Professor at Adamas University. Today we have gathered here to celebrate International Women's Day. For organizing such an beautiful program, thanks to the organizers, coordinators, and moderators. We have heard from successful women personalities, and that really inspires us. To me, the all 365 days of a year are women days, as they struggle all the year. Lucky few get the supports also. Others sell their dreams opposite to the flow. That is tough indeed. Every woman have their different struggling stories. As a teacher, as a parent, we can make the next generation in that way so that they can respect women. The rise of women is not about the fall of men. If we go side by side, we can make a better society. Lastly, I am quoting from Rabindranath Tagore. Men can only think. Women have a way of understanding without thinking. Woman was created out of God's own fancy. Man, he had to hammer into shape. Thank you.
Hello and good evening to all of you. Celebrating International Women's Day in newest form. And I would like to thank the organizers as well as the moderator and the coordinator of this international webinar. It has been truly wonderful to listen to all the panelists, all the esteemed leaders nationally and internationally. And it was a great learning experience for all of us and for me as well to know about their thoughts, about their mental health problems and stigmas, which has been discussed a lot today. Now, coming to the International Women's Day, as we all know that it is celebrated in 8th of March every year to honor and respect each and every woman. So women shares her knowledge for the upliftment of the nation while sacrificing her personal choices for the family. She also cares, loves, pampers, and motivates her nearer and dearer ones at the same time. So I would like to end my speech with a different way. I believe that many of us has listened or read, but I would like to quote a woman anonymous author who has told, I am a strong woman. I don't sit around feeling sorry for myself, nor let people mistreat me. I don't respond to people who dictate to me or try to bring me down. If I fall, I will rise up even stronger because I am a survivor and not a victim. I am in control of my mind, I am in control of my life, and there is nothing I cannot achieve. So cheers to all the women round. Happy womanhood. And with this, I would also like to, I have typed something in the Zoom chat box. What a woman can do is depicted in the website. If you can go and see what a woman or a lot of women can do in a barefoot college in Pilonia district in Rajasthan, which is now truly international in nature and UNESCO funded, you will be able to know that what a woman or a lot of women can do. Thank you, and thank you all for listening and being here. And I would like to hand over to Poroma ma'am, who has been a great organizer and a coordinator of this International Women's Day virtual program. Over to you, Poroma ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a great honor for me. Each year, International Women's Day gathered a momentum. Why? Because women are becoming more empowered than ever before to stand up for their rights and be heard. So, a very good afternoon to everyone present today. Today, when we have all come together to celebrate womanhood on the run-up to International Women's Day, I'm enthralled to be in the presence of such eminent achievers from different spheres. I truly believe that every woman's success should be an inspiration to others. We are strongest when we cheer each other on. Today, as a coordinator of this event, I'm truly humbled to give the vote of thanks to such an elite and well-renowned panel. I would first like to thank our honorable expert speakers, Ms. Rania Lampiou, who is a global educator and scientist from Greece, and Dr. Desiree Richardson, who is an international best-selling author and a media personality from London. Both the sessions were extremely relevant in today's scenario and was very enriching for all present today. I would like to thank our eminent panelists, Ms. Swagata Majumdar, Ms. Surabhi Sarkar, and Ms. Alina Sabu, and Ms. Boishali Dashgupta Nandi for their valuable insight in the panel discussion. I feel proud and honored to be a woman amongst all of you. I would next like to thank our own Director, School of Education, Dr. Sharon Mukherjee, for hosting such a wonderful session and helping us to arrange of such a wonderful and informative event today on the occasion of International Women's Day. I also would like to thank Dr. Prathita Bishas, Professor and HOD School of Education, Adams University, for being the constant support and guidance required to organize such an event. On behalf of everyone present today, I would like to thank and congratulate our student coordinator, Ms. Monami Ghosh, and student moderator, Ms. Orpita Bishas, and Ms. Shumedha Basu Biswas, School of Education, Adams University. My heartiest thanks to all the members of organizing committee, all the faculty members of School of Education, and a special thanks to Pranay sir, Pragya ma'am, and Arpun sir for their constant technical support. I would like to thank and acknowledge the participants who have joined this session. We look forward to many such enriching, interactive, and exchange of ideas and vision in near future. Thank all of you. Be safe and be healthy. Over to you, Urpita and Shumedha.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you to our female faculty. And in advance, happy Women's Day to everyone present here, all the participants. We are truly honored to, like ma'am has already given a vote of thanks still from our side. Thank you to each and every panelist and the eminent speakers from national and international level. It was a pretty good time we have spent together this afternoon, and indeed a great interactive session and impressive panel discussion. Thank you for being an active participant and interacting with the panelists to the participants. I hope there are a lot of things you're going to take away from this today's program. So with due permission of our respected director ma'am and HOD ma'am, I, Arpita Biswas,
and myself, Sumedha Basu Biswas, your today's moderator, wrapping up for today's event. Thank you everyone for your patience and love. Have a pleasant evening ahead. Thank you.
Thank you everyone.
Happy Women's Day to everyone. And I would like to seek permission from HOD ma'am for wrapping up the session.
Sure, you may.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.